I keep getting lots of questions about magic and spirits that can be called in order to help with gambling and gambling luck. So today I just want to cover that and talk about gambling itself and also magic that can help. Okay, so gambling. Before we get into anything, I just want to mention that gambling can be entertaining, and a big but, that entertainment can turn into an addiction. And if you do have an addiction, gambling addiction can destroy your life, it can destroy your family, it can destroy everything. So if you have concerns that you do have an addiction to gambling, and even if you don't have concerns, but you do gamble a lot and you find that you are spending your last little bit of money on gambling, you are missing out on work or school, or just missing out on your daily responsibilities, anything of the sort, please go and get help. Everything that I'm going to talk about in today's video is purely for anybody who uses gambling for entertainment, and somebody who is addicted probably won't admit it, but this is purely for entertainment. Just want to make that absolutely clear. If you do need some advice and you do need some help, I'm putting some links in the description. There is one to gamblinganonymous.org and then to responsiblegambling.org.za for all of my South African viewers, as I know there are quite a few. But please just understand that, as I said, gambling is entertainment, but it can lead to an addiction, and that can completely destroy your life. And if you are in that boat, please get help. If you are wanting advice for gambling amulets or talismans or lucky charms or anything like that, because you need to win some money to feed your family, you definitely need to go and find help. So please do. Alright, so with all that out of the way, hopefully, let's get into the actual topic. And if you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can also hit the join button if you would like to support the channel more. Alright, so when it comes to magic itself, there's a lot of questions come up about the lottery. And it's probably one of the most popular ones because a lot of people will want magical advice to win at the lottery, and a lot of people will say, well, if you are so good at magic, why don't you win the lottery? You have to understand, and Gordon White actually puts this really well on his website, RuneSoup. When it comes to magic, especially when it comes to luck, bringing luck through magical means, it increases your chances. But when it comes to the lottery, there are a few things you need to bear in mind. First of all, there are millions and millions of people who are playing the lottery at the same time you are. So if your chances before doing magic were, for example, 200 million to 1, and you do magic to win the lottery, that may bring your chances down to, so let's say 50,000 to 1, and that's a huge difference. I mean, that's a huge improvement, but 50,000 to 1 chance is still a huge chance, and the chance that you will win is very unlikely. All right. The other thing is that magic really, a lot of the time, boils down to thoughts. Projection of thoughts, and that becomes a projection of energy. And if our intent is spot on, if that's all we're thinking about and we're projecting those thoughts constantly, we're manifesting something. Now when you have millions upon millions of people, well, maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but it's a large amount of people who are playing the lottery at the same time, and they are all wanting to win. They are focused on winning the lottery. When you have that many people and all that energy coming into one spot and combating it, it just goes a bit crazy. Fortunately, or well, not fortunate to everybody, but fortunate to that one person or two people or three people who actually their energy managed to get through, then they win the lottery. But the fact is, doing magic will increase your chances, but it won't guarantee a win. Okay, really, really as simple as that. And with gambling as well, it will increase your chances, but it probably doesn't mean you're going to win. However, over a series or a continuous pattern, let's put it that way, you probably get out more wins than you would if you were not doing magic, but that still does not mean that you are going to come out on top. If you, just as an example, if you had 2 wins and 8 losses out of 10 bets, and you did magic, it might improve your chances to become 4 wins out of 6 losses. Still means you lost, okay? So you just need to remember this. Magic is going to improve your chances, increase your chances. It doesn't mean it's going to be guaranteed, okay? Now, there are a few spirits and demons that we can actually contact in regards to gambling luck. One of them is actually Ganesha, the Hindu elephant god. And Ganesha is usually called on to remove obstacles, open roads and things like that, but can also be called upon for gambling luck. And I did find a mantra for Ganesha in Jason Miller's Financial Sorcery book. It was in the book, it is at least, is Om Gam Ganapati Ye Nama. Now if you Google search that, it comes up with a variety of different variations, but the most popular one seems to be Om Gam Ganapataya Namaha. Okay, so you can use that as a chant. Just go Google it if you have any connection with Ganesha. I think Ganesha is fantastic. Love Ganesha to bits. But if you've got any connection, you'll probably already know a mantra that you can use to call on Ganesha himself. So Ganesha is one of them. Lady Fortuna, and this is the reason I was actually going through Jason Miller's Financial Sorcery book. I recalled a method of giving to Lady Fortuna in order to receive. I couldn't find it while I was searching through the book, so I may have read it somewhere else, but I'm sure it was in that book. It is an excellent book to read if you are interested in financial sorcery, increasing money, abundance, your finances, wealth improvement, things like that. But it was actually an interesting thing. If you have money to blow, and I'm going to put an emphasis on this. If you have money to blow, if you've got $10 or $100 that you can actually just throw down the drain, literally throw away in the dustbin, and it would not affect you, then go to a casino and blow that money. The whole reason for this is that what you're doing is you are giving an offering to Lady Fortuna, and through that offering you then receive in abundance. So it's a good thing, but again, I've got to emphasize, it needs to be money that you can blow, that you can just literally just throw down the drain, and it would not affect your life in the slightest at all. If you are taking $10 or $100, which you should have been using to buy food, and you do that, it's not going to work. Then Lady Fortuna is just going to look at you like you're an idiot, because you could have used that money to feed yourself or your family. Okay, so it really needs to be money that you can just blow and throw away. Remember that. All right. Some other spirits. There's Asmodeus. Now, Asmodeus is a demon of lust, a demon of luxury, of lechery, but is also noted to be a demon of gambling because of that luxury, of, the demon of bringing all things nice type of thing. And if you do go searching for this particular aspect of Asmodeus, it's usually noted that Asmodeus is the manager of the gambling houses of hell. Now, I must admit, whenever I read anything that mentions the word hell, as in the Christian hell, I just move on, because I'm not Christian. I do not believe in this hell, this Christian hell. A lot of people who do left-hand path and demonolatry, etc., etc., for some reason do like to bring in this aspect of a Christian hell. Not something that I follow myself, but it might be something you can actually resonate with, so I'm just putting it in there. Alright, so he is considered to be the manager of the gambling houses of hell. And because of that, he is good to call on for gambling luck. Actually, at this point, what I need to also bring in here is you have to remember there's a difference between games of chance and skill. If you are playing a card game and you are a professional card player, you are using skill rather than gambling. You are not gambling anymore. This is pure skill. So remember, you got to also remember the difference between gambling and skill. Gambling is playing games of chance with no skill involved. You are putting money into a slot machine, pulling an arm, and just letting fate decide what it wants to do with you and your money. All right, but anyway, to carry on, there's one other spirit that I wanted to talk about, and that was Erominus. Erominus is one of the demons that are found in Abramelin, the sacred magic of Abramelin. If you know the work, you might be familiar with what I'm talking about. If you don't know the work, then I'll try and give you a very brief breakdown. So Abramelin, there are two versions to this. There's the 6-month ritual and the 18-month ritual. And the main reason you do this ritual, and it's a constant ritual, you start off with 2 prayers a day. You end up, after, I think in the 6-month version, I think after the first 2 months. So after the first 6 months in the 18 months version, you would then be doing 3 prayers a day. And it's intense. It really, really, really does get intense. There are a lot of things in the setting out of the ritual, the preparations and things before you actually start, which are somewhat difficult to do nowadays, such as the actual place you actually do the rituals themselves. But you can find ways around those things. But anyway, I'm not talking about Abramelin itself. So the basis of Abramelin is to gain knowledge and conversation with your holy guardian angel, as Crowley put it. And once you've done that, you then gain mastery over the demons. And there's a lot of demons in Abramelin, and they fall under different hierarchies. But Erominus falls under Astaroth, and is said to be very good at increasing your chances in gambling. Now, one book I do recommend, and I was dubious about this book to begin with, but I have used some of the rituals or some of the path workings, and seems to be quite solid, is Lucifer and the Hidden Demons by Theodore Rose. I think I've spoken about this briefly before, but I'm going to talk about it again. The book itself focuses just on the demons. It does not focus on the application of the Abramelin rite or operation, and it does not focus at all on knowledge and conversation with the Holy Guardian Angel. It really just focuses on the demons within the grimoire. And Lucifer, in this case, is the head demon, the ultimate one at the top. So you go to Lucifer before you go and summon any of the other demons in the actual grimoire. Now, the reason I was dubious about this book to begin with, firstly, it is very simple. Now, some people do prefer a ritual, a lot of ritual. It helps them get into a proper mental space and, bring their attention from this physical world into a magical world that they can actually operate in and shut out whatever they need to shut out. But magic can be very effective if it's very simple. Again, it doesn't really work for everybody. It can work for a lot of people, but probably not everybody, because as I say, some people need that ritualization in order to get their headspace right. But this is extremely simple. It works on purely on path workings. And so what you do, path working is different from a guided meditation. A guided meditation would be where somebody takes you through a scene and step by step. So you're walking down a path through a meadow, you enter into a forest and you touch the trees and you can hear the leaves rustling, you can see the sun twinkling through the branches of the trees, and it's this guided meditation that takes you from point A to point Z and takes you through all the letters in between. Pathworking is basically taking you from scene to scene, and those scenes incite particular things within your psyche. But you would, like for instance, with the Theodore Rose book, so you start out, you go to Lucifer first, and then you ask if you can summon X, Y, and Z, whichever demons you want to work with. So you start off with Lucifer. So what you do is you visualize yourself standing in a rock-strewn desert. Okay, so you have this visualization. Then you visualize mountains in the distance. Okay, then the next one is you are at the foot of the mountains. So you go from this point and you go straight to there. There's no you are walking through the desert and you meet a little gnome or whatever it is. You just go straight from point A to point B. Then you go on to the next visualization, and then etc, etc, etc. So you are taken from scene to scene to scene to scene, and it skips you through each one, and it reacts upon the psyche, and it gets you again into that. It's all about getting you into the inner temple, so you can block out this physical organic world, and you go into the inner temple. And once you are at that scene, that particular scene and visualization brings the particular demon. So each one is different. But as I said, the book's great. I was dubious about it because a lot of people don't find the simplicity very effective, but this particular one I do find very good. There are also a lot of other things, such as Rose mentions that you should not make offerings to the spirits. Just the simple fact that they are helping you is their whole purpose for existing. I have to disagree with that, but that's just my personal viewpoint. But if you do, I do find if you want to make offerings, the respect that you give them, the appreciation and the gratitude that you give them can be an offering in itself. So once you are finished with your particular path working and you have asked the particular demon to help you with X, Y, and Z, in this case it would be gambling with Erominus. But once you finish that, then you can thank them. Just say you really appreciate their help and show some gratitude. And that is an offering in itself. If you really get into this and it's the only thing you're actually doing, what you can do is set up an altar to Lucifer, for instance, and actually burn candles and give offerings to Lucifer, and that will lead down to all the others. So anyway, I think that's enough information on magic to be used for gambling. A lot of people ask this question, so I thought I'd better do something. I don't gamble myself, so I can't say whether these methods actually work or not. This is just what I found through research. And for instance, I mean, I know Asmodeus, I've worked with Asmodeus before. Quite a potent energy that you might just want to make sure you know what you're doing before you work with him. He comes in and kind of blasts things away. And the Theodore Rose book, I've worked with the actual path workings. I know it's solid, I know it's good, I've seen the effects. So that one will probably work as well. And the whole idea of giving offerings to Lady Fortuna just makes absolute sense to me. You know, give Lady Fortuna an offering so she'll give back to you. You know, so, you know, I don't gamble myself, but I have some degree of knowledge of working with these particular aspects. Let's put it that way. All right, but as I said, please make sure that it's just entertainment, and if you do find yourself slipping into an addiction, please go and get help. Just seek it out straight away. You don't want to destroy your life, and you don't want to destroy your family's lives. It really is a serious addiction and a serious problem, so I think I've said enough. Go and find help if you need it. Alright, so that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. Cheers.